This is where we do the field test of the car to see how fast it goes.
All right, so we've got Jerry Ross here, one of my personal heroes. And Jerry, you've been you're a hero to a lot of people. I was thinking about this, Jerry. You became an astronaut in 1980,
That's
right?
That's right, man.
Before the shuttle flew.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think you're probably the only astronaut from the class of 1980 still in the...
Still active, quasi-active.
Still active.
Yeah.
So you have seen, I think well, maybe there's a couple others, but you're one of the few astronauts that have seen the whole length of the shuttle program.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen every shuttle. You've been an astronaut during every shuttle flight.
Yeah, I think Shannon Lucid is still in the office.
Right,
and
yeah.
Anna Fisher
still in the office.
Anna was on sabbatical for a while, but
right, yeah, she's there.
Yeah,
so, but just a couple of them. You're one of the few that have been. So, how does it now? So, you've gone from start to finish, and we're here at the Kennedy Space Center, coming up the Vehicle Assembly Building. What's going through your mind now?
As far as the end of the shuttle, I wanted to stay here. I wanted to be able to say that I completed the shuttle from beginning to end. And my main goal is to stay around and be one of those voices that can cry from the wilderness if I sense that there's something that's not going right.
You had 7 space shuttle flights,
yes,
which is the record.
Yes.
I think someone tied you, right?
Franklin Chang classmates.
But you guys have 7. I mean, I've been lucky enough to go twice, but you've gone 7 times, which is a record. It's the most space flights anyone's had, right? You and Franklin are tied.
It was a good start.
It was a good start. So you would, and I know you well enough to know that you would be ready to go on this next one.
I keep waiting
in the
for
final 4.
To break a leg or something.
Yeah, you're ready. Yeah. You're ready to go on more. You can't get enough.
Yeah, I keep a launch and entry suit down here ready for me, and
just in case. Yeah. You never know, and you can do the job easily.
Right.
But the cool thing for us, is that you've got all this experience. But you're still there to help any new person that needs anything. There's nothing too little, too big you won't do for them to help.
I enjoy seeing new guys come on board and see the excitement in their eyes. It's kind of like a kid on Christmas morning,
Yeah.
I still have that. I still feel that, and to be able to see new guys come on board and kind of help see that through their eyes again, but also to help to try to pass on some of the lessons learned and make sure that they don't make some of the same mistakes that we've made previously, and can help them over some of the bumps quicker, maybe. Yeah. It's fun. I've been asked many times to take management positions, and the very lowest level of management position I have now is totally comfortable with me. I never wanted to be a boss of a big organization. Yeah. I always wanted to be close to the operations, close to the hardware. Right. I always wanted to continue to fly.
Well, there's only so many times you can go, but you have that spirit. You've never lost your enthusiasm for the job.
No, I could always tell when my friends were getting ready to leave the astronaut office. Yeah. As you know, it's a very challenging environment, both physically and mentally. Yeah. And it's tough on the family as well. But I could always tell when my friends were getting to the point where they were about ready to say, that's it, I'm going elsewhere. Because they'd start to complain about having to fly or having to go in the simulator or getting into the suit and getting into the water tank. Yeah. And on my 7th flight, I still felt like a kid in a candy shop. And I said, oh boy, we get to do this again. This is all good stuff. I remember this, and this is one of the good parts right here. We're going to drive 113s today. This is good stuff. Yeah. So I feel extremely blessed, Mass, to have had the opportunities to see so many people come through the astronaut office and share part of their lives with them, and a tremendously talented professional group of people, and it's been a lot of fun.
I've always felt that as an organization, I mean NASA as a whole, as an organization, particularly our office, is the best. They have the best group of people in the world. I would challenge any organization to just based on the character of the people we get to work with daily, are just
I think
just
one
great
of the neatest things that I've sensed, not only at JSC or KSC, but almost everywhere within NASA, anybody you talk to, everybody says they've got the best job. And I don't care if it's one of the cooks here in the crew quarters, or if it's somebody that's a machinist in one of the manufacturing facilities, or guys working out on the line helping us to keep the airplanes flying, or whatever it is. Everybody is enthralled with what they're doing, and most of them would do it even if they didn't get paid. That's the way they are. And they just feel like they're making major contributions to our country's space program, and that's what keeps them there and keeps them excited.
it's a great place to work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's the best. You can't do any better than this.
I've been very fortunate throughout my Air Force and NASA careers to have exciting jobs and exciting things to do, but NASA is by far the group of people that comes to work every day with a smile on their face and really is engaged in what they're doing.
You have as we're getting closer to crew quarters, and we're going to have to get out of the car soon. Do you have a favorite memory? This is probably an impossible question. You probably have a favorite 100, but does anything come to mind out of all the years, something that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think
I've got some favorite stories you've told me. I'm wondering what you're going to come up with. Go ahead.
All right, well, this is going to be a test.
All right, go ahead. All right, let's see what you come up with.
I think one of the most unique experiences I ever had as a human being is on my third space shuttle flight. I was outside on a spacewalk. I was on the end of the mechanical arm, and it was way above the payload bay. And J-App, my spacewalking buddy, was outside, and the guys inside were concentrating on what Jay was doing.
Right.
And so they told me just to relax for a second while they helped Jay with some procedures. And so I turned off my helmet-mounted lights, and I looked up at the blackness of space, and I tried to dark adapt my eyes as best I could to see as many stars as possible.
Right.
And I will never forget doing that, just standing out there, and I had this sense of being my own little spacecraft, my own spacesuit, and being at unity with the universe. And for an engineer, that is a weird thing to be saying, that you had this feeling of being at unity with the universe. And I felt like at that point I was doing exactly what God had designed me to do. To be out there in space, in a spacesuit. And in that time we were investigating ways of manually constructing structures in space. Using your hands, using your brain, and working with a team of people both in the vehicle and down on the ground to investigate and push back the horizons of man's ventures off into the universe. And it's what a cool thing to feel. What a great way to experience every day working in space.